Welcome back to another deep dive.
Yeah.
And today we're taking a look at the latest from TechU's 10X.
Yes, we are.
It seems like every time we come back,
Yeah.
the tech world has just exploded with a whole bunch of...
It's impossible to keep up.
It is impossible to keep up with.
Yeah.
So we're going to do our best and try to hit some of the highlights, at least.
Exact.
Some of the biggest stories.
Yeah.
So we're talking 6G,
Oh, yeah.
next-gen internet.
Yeah.
We're talking about a security issue that Apple had to fix. And a nostalgic gaming revival.
Ooh.
So you guys don't have to wait to hear what that is. But
Definitely teases.
yeah, big teases. So are you guys ready to upgrade your tech knowledge with us today? Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future deep dives. All right, let's jump into it.
Let's go.
So first up, AI. Seems like AI is just exploding.
It is.
Yeah.
The AI explosion continues.
It's hard to keep up with everything that's going on. And first off the bat, we've got Microsoft. They've got this new Phi-4 AI. And this thing is crazy. It's not just good at math. It's good at language. It can generate human quality code
Yeah.
in multiple programming languages.
Happy.
And solve complex equations
Really wild.
at the same time. It's crazy.
It really is blurring the lines between what we traditionally thought about as like the separate domains of AI. You know, we had math and language over here, and then they were kind of working in their own separate spaces. But this is really showing that that wall is breaking down, and AI is becoming much more multifaceted in its capabilities. So I think it raises really interesting questions about where we're headed.
Yeah.
You know, if this AI can already do this much, what's coming next?
Yeah. It's mind-blowing, for sure.
Yeah.
So that's not the only thing happening on the AI front.
Yeah.
Of course, ChatGPT has been busy as well. They're trying to help us get a little bit more organized because, let's be real, we're all using ChatGPT for just a ton of stuff these days. So they've rolled out these projects
Yeah.
to help kind of organize your work.
Workspace for AI. Yeah.
Workspace for AI, which I think is much needed.
I think so, too.
And they've also added screen and video sharing to the voice chat.
Wow.
So it's kind of becoming this ultimate digital sidekick now.
Yeah.
But of course, we have to talk about
the dark side.
the dark side a little bit.
The downsides.
Because, you know, with all this great stuff comes
risks. Mm-hmm.
And we are seeing some security concerns starting to crop up
For sure.
around AI. We're hearing reports of companies that are already facing AI-powered security threats.
Yeah.
So hackers are using AI to create these incredibly convincing phishing campaigns and write malware that can like adapt to security systems and even automate attacks on a massive scale.
It is a new world, and it requires new ways of thinking about security.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about protecting your data anymore. It's about protecting entire systems from these very sophisticated AI-powered attacks. And so companies are really scrambling to try to find the experts who can understand these new threats and put those countermeasures in place. So I think this is actually a really interesting opportunity for anyone who's interested in cybersecurity. You know, this is like the new frontier of security.
Yeah, it's definitely a growing field for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's all the AI stuff for now. Before we go down
Take a break from the heavy.
too deep of a rabbit hole, let's switch gears and talk about something a little bit more fun. Gaming.
Okay, yeah.
So remember, I mentioned the nostalgic game revival. Well, get ready to relive your childhood because Malcolm in the Middle is officially getting a reboot
Oh my goodness.
on Disney+.
That is a blast from the past.
I know, right? What if Dewey's going to be in it?
I hope so.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
But speaking of things that are a little bit more current, the Game Awards 2024 happened.
Oh, yes, I watched those.
Did you?
I did.
Okay. So Astrobot cleaned up. They took home 4 awards, including Game of the Year.
Wow.
But the shocker for me was Fallout getting the award for Best Adaptation.
Yeah.
Because Arcane, you know, the Netflix series was
That was a good one.
so popular.
Very popular.
I mean, I don't know if Fallout deserved it.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Let us know down in the comments.
Yeah.
But we've got some other...
Yeah, I was surprised by that one, too. Arcane was so visually stunning, and the story was just phenomenal. So I'm curious to see what people thought about Fallout. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. But some other exciting reveals. Okami is getting a sequel.
Oh, wow.
And the best part is the original creator is directing.
That's fantastic.
So that's big news for fans of that
You're
game.
huge.
And Borderlands 4 is officially happening.
Nice.
And from what we've seen so far, they seem to be sticking to their guns. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be over the top.
That's what we want.
And loot-tastic.
And just when you thought it was over, The Outer Worlds 2. Oh, yes.
Is coming out in 2025.
So many good games to look forward to.
I know, right? So many. Which one are you guys most excited for? Tell us down in the comments. All right.
Okay.
Moving on, we've got to talk about the tech giants.
Of course.
Where things are always interesting. So Amazon, they're making some waves because they've decided to partner up with a Samsung rival.
Interesting.
To build some custom next-gen tech for AWS.
Wow. So they're really thinking outside the box here. I mean, it's kind of like Coke collaborating with Pepsi, you know? You don't see that every day. But it's clear that Amazon is prioritizing innovation, and they're willing to kind of break down those traditional barriers to stay ahead in the cloud computing space.
Yeah, for sure. But then they also hit the brakes on their $1 billion Microsoft 365 rollout, which is kind of
a big move.
A big move, yeah. And they're citing security concerns coming from Russia.
Oh, wow.
So it's a reminder, I guess, that even the digital world can be affected by
global events,
geopolitical events.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really highlights the fact that these tech companies, they're not operating in a vacuum. You know, they have to deal with cybersecurity concerns, but data, privacy, international relations, all of these factors are kind of swirling around, and they can really impact even the most ambitious tech projects.
Yeah, for sure. But on a lighter note, Prime Video is finally testing AI-powered movie recommendations.
Interesting.
So, you know, if you're tired of scrolling through endless options,
yes,
maybe this will be the thing that changes it.
I hope so, because I feel like I spend more time searching for something to watch than actually watching. So
I know, that's the worst.
It is.
Okay, let's talk Apple.
All right.
So, first up, they had a security scare. They had a patch of vulnerability that could have exposed user data.
Oh, no.
So this is just your friendly reminder to always keep your devices updated.
Yes, please do that.
Because, you know, it's like wearing digital armor against those pesky hackers.
It's your best defense.
It is.
So
now for the question on everyone's mind.
Yes.
Where's CarPlay 2?
Right.
It seems like that 2025 launch might be delayed. So sad trombone for those of us who are waiting to upgrade our in-car tech.
Well, you know, delays can be frustrating, but sometimes it's better to wait and get it right than to rush it out and have a bunch of problems.
No, very true.
Especially when it's something that impacts safety. You know, you want to make sure it's thoroughly tested and it works properly.
Yeah, you don't want to have your car crash because of a software bug.
No, definitely not.
But there is a silver lining, potentially. We're hearing rumors of a HomePod Mini 2 coming in 2025. Along with a mysterious Maxi upgrade.
Ooh, a Maxi HomePod. What could that be?
I know, right? What do you think it could be? A HomePod that can cook your dinner.
Maybe it's like a robot butler that also plays music?
I don't know. Let us know down in the comments what you guys think.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what people come up with.
And hold on to your iPhones. Because it looks like all 4 iPhone 17 models might be getting 120 Hz displays.
Oh, nice.
So, for those of you who don't speak tech, that basically means super smooth scrolling and animations.
Yes. It's a game changer for the user experience, especially if you're doing things like gaming or just scrolling through social media. It just makes everything feel so much more fluid and responsive.
Yeah, the big difference for sure.
All
right, so let's switch gears a little bit and talk about cybersecurity.
All right.
Because the news isn't great here.
Oh.
We're seeing hackers increasingly weaponizing Microsoft tools. And there's a dangerous new strain of malware that's hitting critical infrastructure, like routers and firewalls and even fuel systems.
Wow, that's scary.
Yeah, it's a little bit scary.
It is a little bit scary. It really shows how vulnerable we are as a society.
Yeah.
You know, we're so reliant on these digital systems, and if they're not secure, it can have a major impact on our everyday lives.
Yeah, for sure. And just in time for the holiday shopping frenzy. Millions of credit card details have been leaked online.
Oh, no.
So talk about a Grinch move, right?
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Especially this time of year when people are shopping online more than ever.
Right. It's a good reminder to keep a close eye on your accounts and maybe consider a credit monitoring service.
Definitely a good idea.
And as if that wasn't bad enough.
What else?
Skoda is dealing with security flaws that could allow hackers to remotely track cars.
What?
I know, right?
That's not good.
It's kind of scary.
It is a bit scary. It's kind of a reminder that as we get more connected, you know, our vehicles and our homes and everything, it also opens up all of these new avenues for security breaches.
Yeah, for sure. So it's definitely something to be aware of. But let's talk about some good news.
Okay.
At least on the security front.
Right.
Eufy has a new smart lock that uses palm reading tech.
Wow.
So no more fumbling for your keys.
Yeah.
Just wave your hand and voila, you're in.
That's pretty cool.
Right. It's pretty cool.
I mean, it does raise some privacy concerns,
Yeah.
but it's definitely convenient.
It's convenient for sure.
It is.
And speaking of exciting new tech, Qualcomm is shaking things up a little bit with a new desktop CPU that could rival Intel and AMD. So, more competition in the processor market is usually a good thing.
It is, because it leads to more innovation.
Exactly.
And hopefully better products and lower prices for consumers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out. But not all sunshine and roses. We've got the EU proposing some legislation that could make digital devices monitorable at all times.
Wait, what? Monitorable by whom?
That's the question, right?
Yeah, that sounds a little...
It's a little creepy.
Orwellian.
Yeah, a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So I imagine civil liberties groups are not happy about this.
No, they're not.
They're probably raising all sorts of concerns about privacy rights, and, rightly so. It's a very delicate balancing act between security and freedom.
Yeah, for sure.
And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Okay.
Let's take a break from the serious stuff and talk about something fun.
All right, I'm ready.
So, anyone out there a fan of It Takes Two?
Oh, yeah, that game was so good.
That game was so good.
So creative and fun to play. I loved it. Well, the studio behind that, Hazelight Studios, they're back with a new co-op game called Split Fiction.
Ooh, I like the title already.
I know, right?
It's intriguing.
It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
But we got to go back to reality for a sec. Remember those security flaws that could let hackers track Skoda cars?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it turns out a ton of servers are vulnerable to a similar security flaw called Prometheus.
Yikes.
So it's basically like someone left the back door wide open
Yeah.
and hackers are having a field day.
Not good. It's like a reminder that security is an ongoing process. You can't just set it and forget it. You have to constantly be monitoring and updating your systems to stay ahead of the bad guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And on a slightly embarrassing note for Microsoft, their recall feature, which was supposed to help us avoid accidentally saving sensitive information, like credit card numbers, doesn't actually work.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Talk about a facepalm moment.
Big facepalm. Okay, let's end this section on a good note, then.
Okay, I like good news.
Intel and AMD might be getting some competition soon because Qualcomm is reportedly developing a powerful new desktop CPU.
Oh, wow.
So this could be a big shakeup.
It could be. It's exciting to see some potential new players entering the market.
Yeah. And in other Windows news, Windows 11 is saying goodbye to suggested actions.
Okay.
So, those sometimes helpful, sometimes annoying little pop-ups.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They're getting rid of them. So
I wonder if people will miss them.
I don't know. Some people probably will.
Probably.
But speaking of anticipating your needs, Apple fans might be getting a shiny new Apple TV 4K in 2025.
Ooh, nice.
And rumor has it, it could come with a surprise in the Wi-Fi department.
Interesting. Faster speeds, longer range. What could it be?
Maybe it'll just beam content directly into your brain.
That would be cool.
I know, right?
Beam me up, Scotty.
But the more realistic option is probably just
Yeah.
updated to the latest Wi-Fi standards.
Yeah, probably.
And finally, some news that has iPhone users buzzing.
All right, what is it?
All 4 iPhone 17 models
okay.
are rumored to be getting 120 hertz displays. So high refresh rate displays are becoming kind of standard now on a lot of high-end phones.
They are, and for good reason.
And it's great to see Apple finally, catching up.
I mean, it makes a big difference in terms of how the phone feels to use.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think people will be happy about that.
Definitely. All right. Okay. Well, that wraps up this first part of our deep dive into Tech Views 10X. Got a lot more to cover, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere.
And we'll be right back.
We'll be right back after this.
After this
So-called break.
So-called break.
Yeah.
Okay, so before the break, we were talking about that massive credit card leak.
Mm-hmm.
And, not a good way to start the holiday season.
No, not at all.
So just a reminder to everybody out there, keep a close eye on your accounts, especially with all the online shopping that's going on.
Yeah, good point. Strong passwords, 2-factor authentication, and just being really careful about those phishing emails can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as if that wasn't bad enough, Skoda is dealing with security flaws that could allow hackers to remotely track cars.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's like something out of a movie.
It is. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is. It really makes you think about, the trade-offs we're making for convenience, Like, All these connected cars and smart homes and everything. It's great until it's not.
Yeah, until somebody's watching you.
Exactly.
But let's move on to some good news.
Okay, I like good news.
On the security front, at least.
Right.
UEFI has a new smart lock that uses palm reading tech.
So like Minority Report.
Yeah, kind of like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty futuristic.
It is. It makes you wonder what other kind of biometric authentication they'll come up with next. You know, maybe retinal scans or voice prints or something.
Yeah, who knows? The possibilities are kind of endless.
They are.
And speaking of exciting new tech, Qualcomm is reportedly developing a new desktop CPU that could rival Intel and AMD.
Interesting.
So that could be a big shakeup for the processor market.
Yeah, I mean, Intel and AMD have been kind of the dominant players for so long. It'd be nice to see some more competition.
Yeah, exactly.
More competition is always good for consumers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It usually leads to lower prices.
And better products.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But not all sunshine and roses. The EU is proposing legislation that would make digital devices monitorable at all times.
Hold on, monitorable by who exactly?
Yeah, that's what everybody's wondering, right?
That sounds a little bit Big Brother-ish to me.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
It is. You
Yeah.
know, I understand the need for security, but at what cost?
Yeah.
You know, where do we draw the line between safety and privacy? It's a tough question.
Yeah, it's a tough balance for sure. All right, let's take a break from the serious stuff again
On game.
and talk about something fun.
All right.
Anyone out there a fan of It Takes Two?
Oh, yeah, I loved that game.
That game was fantastic
Such a unique concept.
and so well executed.
Yeah, the gameplay was so creative, and the story was really heartwarming.
I know, I loved it. Well, the studio behind it, Hazelight Studios, they're back with a new co-op game called Split Fiction.
Interesting title.
I know, right?
I'm intrigued. I wonder what kind of crazy co-op shenanigans they'll have us doing this time.
I know. I can't wait to see. But remember those security flaws that could let hackers track Skoda cars?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it turns out a ton of servers are vulnerable to a similar security flaw called Prometheus.
So basically, it's like a widespread vulnerability.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's not good. It's a reminder that security is kind of like a never-ending battle. You know, there's always going to be new threats and vulnerabilities popping up. So it's important to stay vigilant and keep your systems updated.
Yeah, for sure. And on a slightly embarrassing note for Microsoft,
Uh-oh. What happened?
their recall feature, which was supposed to help us avoid accidentally saving sensitive information like credit card numbers,
Right.
doesn't actually work.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's not... I mean, what's the point of having a feature like that if it doesn't actually do what it's supposed to do?
I know, right? It's a good reminder to not always trust those fancy features.
Exactly. You got to be careful out there.
Um,
Okay, so...
good news, though.
Oh, good. More good news.
Intel and AMD might be getting some competition soon because Qualcomm is reportedly developing a powerful new desktop CPU.
Interesting. I mean, Qualcomm's known for their mobile processors, so it'll be interesting to see how they translate that expertise to the desktop market.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they come up with.
Me too.
And in other Windows news, Windows 11 is saying goodbye to suggested actions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So those little pop-ups that would like suggest things you could do?
Yeah.
See, I guess some people found them annoying.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of anticipating your needs,
Okay.
Apple fans might be getting a shiny new Apple TV 4K in 2025.
Ooh, nice.
And rumor has it could come with a surprise in the Wi-Fi department.
Ooh, a surprise. What could it be? Faster speeds, longer range. Maybe it'll be able to connect to, like, alien Wi-Fi networks.
Who knows?
I don't know, but I'm intrigued.
Maybe it'll have built-in teleportation capabilities.
Okay, now you're just getting crazy.
I know, I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the more realistic option is probably just like,
Yeah.
updated to the latest Wi-Fi standards,
Yeah. Probably something like that.
which is still a good thing.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And finally,
Okay.
some news that has iPhone users buzzing.
What is it?
All 4 iPhone 17 models are rumored to be getting 120 hertz displays.
Nice.
So high refresh rate displays are becoming kind of standard now on a lot of high-end phones.
Yeah. They're pretty much a must-have feature these days.
And it's great to see Apple finally catching up.
It makes a big difference in terms of how smooth and responsive the phone feels to use.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So that about wraps it up for this second part
All right.
of our TechViews 10X deep dive.
We're on the home stretch now.
But we've got one more section to go. So stick around.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
And we're back for the final part of our TechViews 10X deep dive. We've got some more juicy tech news to cover, so let's jump right in. The Witcher 4 is officially happening. And get this, Ciri is going to be the main character.
That's big news. I'm curious to see what kind of story they're going to tell with her in the lead role.
Me too. And the trailer looks incredible.
Yeah.
Intense combat, stunning visuals. It's definitely got that classic Witcher vibe.
I can't wait to see more.
And speaking of highly anticipated sequels, Elden Ring is getting a standalone co-op roguelite expansion called Elden Ring Nightreign.
Oh, wow. A roguelite expansion for Elden Ring.
That sounds like a recipe for some serious punishment.
I know, right? But hey, at least you can suffer with a friend.
True misery loves company, especially in the lands between.
Exactly. And Naughty Dog, the studio behind The Last of Us, they've announced a brand new franchise called Intergalactic, The Heretic Prophet.
Interesting. Naughty Dog always delivers on the story and the visual. So I'm really curious to see what they've come up with. Me too. And switching gears a little bit, the iconic Renault 5 Turbo is making a comeback, but with a twist.
A twist?
Yeah. This isn't your grandpa's sports car. It's a 500 horsepower electric beast.
Wow. Talk about a blast from the past. It's amazing how they're reimagining these classic cars for the electric age.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But not all comebacks are cause for celebration. Senior Dating, a website for, senior dating.
Yeah.
They experienced a major data breach exposing the personal information of over 765,000 users.
No, not good.
No, not good at all. It's a reminder that no platform is immune to these kinds of attacks.
Yeah, cyber criminals are always looking for new targets. And unfortunately, sometimes it's the most vulnerable populations that get hit the hardest.
Yeah, that's true.
Go.
Moving on to something a little bit more lighthearted. ChatGPT is embracing the holiday spirit with a new Santa mode.
Santa mode, what is that?
You can ask SantaBot for tech gift recommendations or engage in a philosophical debate about the true meaning of Christmas with an AI reindeer.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I gotta try that.
It's pretty funny. And for those who prefer visuals to text, ChatGPT has added screen and video sharing to its voice chat.
Oh, wow. So it's like a virtual hangout with your AI buddy?
Exactly. But remember we were talking about AI-powered security threats earlier?
Yeah.
Well, it seems like those threats are becoming more and more common. Companies are reporting a surge in AI-based security alerts.
It's like an arms race. The good guys are trying to stay ahead of the bad guys, and the bad guys are always coming up with new ways to use AI for malicious purposes.
Yeah, it's a little bit scary.
Yeah.
And with the rise of AI, of course, comes a surge in demand for AI skills.
Makes sense. It's a hot field right now.
Yeah, big time. And speaking of hot new tech, NVIDIA is gearing up to unveil its RTX 5000 series GPUs at CES 2025.
Oh, yeah. I heard about the gamers are going to be drooling over those.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. But not all sunshine and roses. Environmental groups may have been targeted by Exxon lobbyists and hack and leak operations.
Seriously, that's messed up.
Yeah, it's a little bit shady.
Yeah. It just shows you how far some companies are willing to go to protect their interests.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's end on a high note, though.
Yes, please. Let's end with some good news.
So Borderlands 4 is officially a go.
All right.
And it looks like it's going to be just as chaotic and over the top as the previous games.
That's what we want. More mayhem, more loot, more explosions.
Exactly. And fighting game fans rejoice. Final Fantasy XVI's Clive Rossfield is joining the roster of Tekken 8.
Oh, wow. That's a cool crossover. I wonder what his fighting style will be like.
Yeah, I'm curious to see that, too. And just in time for the holiday shopping season, millions of credit card details have been leaked online.
Oh, no. Seriously.
Not again.
Yeah, it's a rough time to be shopping online.
It is. It's a good reminder to be extra vigilant about your online security. Check your bank statements regularly. Be careful about what links you click on. And just be aware that there are people out there who are trying to steal your information. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But Apple users have something to celebrate. Keynote pages and numbers. They've all gotten some significant updates.
Oh, cool. What kind of updates?
They're powered by Apple Intelligence. So expect smarter features, enhanced collaboration tools, and a more intuitive user experience.
Nice. Apple's always improving their software, so that's good to hear.
And for fans of classic gaming, Okami is getting a sequel.
Really? That's awesome.
And the original creator, Hideki Kamiya, is directing it.
That's even better. Okami was such a beautiful and unique game. I can't wait to see what they do with the sequel.
Me neither.
Uh-huh.
And to round out our gaming news, The Outer Worlds 2 has been officially announced.
Nice.
Coming out in 2025.
So many games to look forward to.
I know, right? It's a good time to be a gamer.
Yeah, it is.
All right, well, that brings us to the end of our TechViews 10X deep dive.
Wow. That was a lot of
I know,
news.
right? We covered a lot of ground today.
We did, from AI advancements to gaming news security concerns to new gadgets. It's amazing how fast the tech world moves.
It really is. So what news surprised you the most? What are you most excited about? Let us know down in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fellow tech enthusiasts.
Yeah, spread the tech love.
Oh, that me.
And be sure to check back next week for another deep dive into the world of technology.
Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.